Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ask the Nanny. I need to adjust this. Okay, here we go. Today is September the 30th. Can you believe it? It's the end of September. We're almost, let's see, October, November, December. 3 more months, and we're into a new year. It's hard to believe it. But tonight, we are going to have one of our favorite nannies on. Sue Downey is going to be here, and she is going to tell us all about ask. I mean, all about Nannypalooza. Sorry, brain fart. She is going to tell us all about Nannypalooza. Hi, Nanny Kim Kim. Hi, Sue. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Diana. There are a lot of new people that are coming to Nannypalooza this year, and I am so excited to see because we have been friends on Facebook for a while, and I'm like, okay, they're coming, they're coming, they're coming. I'm so excited. If you can't tell already, I'm so excited. Let me invite Sue on, and we'll get started. We can find out some information.
Hey,
Hi, Sue. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. There's no echo.
Yay!
Yay!
I remembered my rule, right? I was like, oh, I forgot the headphones. I'm like trying to plug them in. Oh, careful.
Well, I had to start the broadcast twice. I was like, I had Nanny Palooza. I was like, wait a minute, this is Nanny Palooza. So I'm just confused today. I've been busy this
You
afternoon peeling pumpkins. I'm making pumpkin butter.
wow,
So
that's
I've been
fun.
peeling pumpkins and trying to get them all into the pot. And then the pot that I was using, the crock pot I was using, I have like three different crock pots. One is very slow, and the other two, one is cooks just right, and another one cooks too fast. So I have to go, and all of them are the same crock pot, the same color, same brand. So I'm like, which one is this? Okay, which one is this? And you have to wait like 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes to figure out which one it is. So that's how my afternoon is going.
Okay, you need an Instapot. I just started using Instapot at work, and I cannot believe how amazing it is. I honestly I took frozen chicken. It's like a block of chicken, and I threw it in there with a little water and some barbecue sauce, and 35 minutes later, it was perfectly cooked pulled chicken and barbecue sauce.
Well,
35
see,
minutes.
I have an Instapot, but when you're making butters, they have to cook slowly.
Oh.
So the one that cooks, I was looking for the one that cooks just right. And
Yeah.
so of course I pulled out the slow one first, and then the one that cooks too high second. Cause see, the one that cooks too high is like cooking on the stove. And if I just want to leave it for a couple of hours and not have to tend to it,
No.
yeah, I can do that and come back and it's perfect. But I had to find the one that was just right.
It's like a children's book for you.
Yes, a puzzle. So I think if there was some way, I got to figure out some way to mark it so that I will know this is the one.
A big red X on the side with nail polish.
It's black. Oh, with nail polish.
With
Okay,
nail
that might
polish.
work. That might work.
I don't know. There you go.
I don't know if the nail polish melts off or what, but we'll see. That might work.
Uh,
So tell us, how was your day?
so my day was fine. Apparently, last night there was some issues and there was some bodily fluids involved with the kids, and dad stayed home all day cleaning the bedroom from from whatever
Oh
happened
no.
last night, which might have been dubbed poopocalypse or poopocalypse. I don't know. Anyway, it was bad, but I didn't have to clean it, so I had a fine day because because all
because
I
you
did
didn't have
was
to clean
I
it.
didn't have to clean. I had to fold a lot of laundry and play a lot of games of Uno today, but that's not so bad.
No,
But
no.
it was my first day back. We just took a little vacation to the Outer Banks last week, and
I saw the
yeah,
pictures.
it was so nice, and it was nice to get away. And it's been a stressful summer for me with work and everything, and so it was really just very calm and nice, and so it's good. So it's good to be back. And
Yeah.
now
And
I'm
now
just,
Nannypalooza.
yeah, getting ready.
And now it starts to wrap up again.
I know. Well, so this year we are going to have 175 registered attendees, which is
Wow.
about 25 more than we've ever had before. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot more, but it
It
really makes a
is.
big difference on this end, like printing and just organizing and shuffling. And we have 21 vendors, which is about 10 more vendors than we've ever had. And we have 4 workshops slated throughout the whole conference, which is more content than we've ever had before. And so it's just a little bit bigger than it normally is, and that is exciting, but just a little overwhelming at the same time. So
I'm sure it is. Because
I'm
my little part, I'm like, okay, am I going to get this right? Am I going to say
no,
it?
you're gonna be amazing. It's gonna be
So
fantastic.
I am very nervous because this is Nannypalooza.
I
This
know.
is not just Ask the Nanny where I can just, okay, let me wing this. I can't wing this.
Nope, nope. I'll hold you to it. I will.
So I'm just like, okay, I got this prepared. I got that done. I got this done. Okay, okay. What am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? So I am anxious. I am nervous. I am excited, and all of them for different reasons. So I'm ready. I'm ready for my part to be over with.
Right.
But I'm
You're not
also,
till the end.
I know. I'm saying, I don't want it to be over with because I'm at the end, which means it's over with.
Right. No,
No.
it's going to be
So,
fun. It's going to be really, really fun, and it's a good group this year. We have a lot of newcomers. I'm excited to have some of our West Coast friends from last year coming to the East Coast, which is fun, and a lot of the faces that you will recognize and be excited to see again. So
yeah.
yeah, and the workshops we have scheduled are amazing. And um, do you want to know a secret?
Yes.
So I've only said it once before, and I don't think anyone paid attention. But I already know when Nannypalooza is going to be next year. Do you want me to tell you?
Yes.
So I signed the contract already for next year. It's going to be in Connecticut at the DoubleTree Hotel by the Bradley Airport, which we were at that location before.
Okay.
It's going to be October 9th, 10th, and 11th. Um,
Let me write this
and
down.
that's in addition to the cruise. So
Oh, that's what I'm waiting to hear about.
I know. So I want to tell people this because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not going to be able to make it next year because, I don't cruise or whatever. And I want people to know one of the things that's true about Nannypalooza and always has been is that I keep um, the finances on a tight control. Like there are a lot of choices I make for Nannypalooza that keep the cost down as low as I possibly can. And I know that the cruise, which we're planning because it's the 15th year, um,
Yes.
is a bit of a splurge, and that's great for some people. But I didn't want people to feel like if you couldn't go on a cruise for whatever reason, whether it's the money, the time off, maybe it's just not your thing. That's fine. There is going to be another option, and it'll be a little scaled back. Like there probably won't be a lot of stuff happening on Friday afternoon, but we'll definitely have the same great thing on Saturday and Sunday. And that hotel we're limited to only 150 people, which will be great, and that'll be a great group. And we get a lot of people. That's an easy airport to fly into, so you guys can mark your calendars if you want to join
And
us next year.
yes. And all of my New York people,
I know they'll come.
gosh, they will come.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
and this is a great location too, since we are farther south this year. This is great for all the Boston nannies. Last time we were in Connecticut, we had such a big contingent from Boston and Brooklyn and New York, and it's fairly inexpensive to fly into that airport from just about anywhere. So I know, I promise, I know those West Coasters are like, you have to come back, and I will, but with the cruise, I couldn't quite swing that next year. So
Just as you said that, Susan said, I hope there's another West Coast one too.
I know, I know. Well, and I really do want to try to move it west. And I promised the Dallas people like that.
Yeah.
I know. So, so, yeah. So that's where we are. So that's just a little bit of information for your people to know.
Yes.
And
We
then
got to.
exactly. And then the cruise. So Nanny Cruisapalooza.
Okay. Write
Um,
this down.
that it's more than half full already. So if you're interested in coming, reach out to me, get a deposit in if you can. If you can't get a deposit right away, at least let me know what you're looking for, because it's really, I haven't really advertised it much, and it's more than half full. The dates for that cruise are October 24th, that's a Saturday, to Thursday the 29th. We leave, you have to be on board by I think you have to be on board by like 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock on Saturday. We leave port at 4, and then we're gone all the way through. We get back on Thursday morning at 7 a.m., but you won't be off the boat until like noon for sure. So you might be able to work that Friday if you wanted, but definitely you'll need Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So it's 5 days, 4 nights. Is that right? Saturday night, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No, 5 nights. Sorry, I can't do math. Um,
So it's 5 nights and six
five
days.
nights, 6 days. We leave from Baltimore, so that is good for my East Coasters because you don't have to fly. You can drive to the Baltimore Harbor. We have a day at sea, and then the next day we dock in Bermuda at 2:30 in the afternoon, and then we stay docked in Bermuda overnight until 2:30 the next day. So we'll have 24 hours in Bermuda. I'm very excited because I made contact with a Facebook friend of mine in Bermuda who runs the Bermuda Island Nanny Desk. And we are in talks. We're going to try to figure out some sort of nanny activity for us to do with her and some nannies that are working in Bermuda, which will be very exciting. And I don't know what else we'll have planned, but I'm sure there'll be more. And then another day at sea, and then we're back. And our main speaker will be the amazing Pascal, who has been at Nannypalooza many times. She is coming, and we are actually have a meeting tomorrow to go over what some of the content will be. We're going to take into account who's registered, what kind of age groups they're working with, and really tailor the information to take a deeper dive into some things. She teaches a lot about executive function, positive discipline. She's very good about leadership issues and communication issues with parents and with children. She has classes from birth to teenagers, so she'll be able to do a wide variety of things for us. And so we're going to have classes on the days at sea, and then some small group activities as well, where we'll be doing some peer-to-peer learning. I have some creative ideas about that too, so that you'll get more than just Pascal. And then she also is going to do some individualized coaching if people are interested as well.
Yeah.
And then you'll have plenty of free time to enjoy the boat. And we'll have a few private events just for our group, but it'll also there's so much to do on the ship. The ship is the grandeur of the seas, which is not one of the giant ones. It's a little bit older, a little bit smaller, but it's a
You said
beautiful boat.
grandeur at seas?
Grandeur of the seas. It's Royal Caribbean.
Okay.
The one thing I really am excited to do is to they have this big outdoor movie theater thing by the pool, and you can like float in the pool and watch a movie. I think that sounds so fun, like to be out in the ocean, and
So
I'm excited.
let me ask you this. We're leaving from Baltimore, right?
Baltimore,
Okay.
exactly. And you return
Susan,
to
it
Baltimore.
leaves from Baltimore. Susan had a
Yes,
question. It said it leaves from where? It leaves from Baltimore. So
right.
in Baltimore, uh, I'm starting to
Yeah.
get interested in the cruise. Is there a link?
There is. So if you go to nannypalooza.com, and at the top there's the conference and NTD podcast, and there's a button that says cruise. And if you click on that, there's a couple of pages with some basic information. It gives you the itinerary. Your package includes your stateroom, all of your taxes and fees, all of your gratuities, and the unlimited drink package. We all have to have the same drink package, so that's the one we're having, so that nobody has to worry about any sort of tab. So that includes water, it includes the upscale coffees, it includes alcohol if you so choose, or they have delicious mocktails that you can have, soda, all of that, everything's included. So the only other things that you'll have to spend, and it also includes all of your professional development and the networking special events that we're going to do and workshops. It also includes all of your dining unless you choose to do some of their specialty dining, which there's a small upcharge for that if you go to some of their specialty restaurants. But we'll
Okay.
probably have tables together in the main dining room. So that will be a fun time. If we're off doing our own things, it'll be fun to sort of eat together in the main dining room. You Oh, and then the only other thing there's a casino on board, so that's obviously not included. Spa treatments are not included. And also, if there are any extra, like off the boat activities that you do. But everything else is basically included. And you don't have to get off the boat. So if you're on a tight budget, just use all the, swim on the boat and get off and go to the beach or whatever. It'll be fun.
Right.
So,
And how much is the deposit?
so the deposit is $175. Um, and that holds your space. That's before November 15th. After November
Okay.
15th, if there's still space available, the pricing will go up. It's non-refundable. So make sure, because of the way that the cruise, it's a different animal than working with a hotel. So I can't do any refunds. So if you put down the deposit and you find out you can't go, there's absolutely nothing I can do. So make sure that you can go before you put down the deposit.
Yeah.
Everything is non-refundable with this. But and it's also non-transferable, which is unusual. Usually I can do the transfers. I
Mm.
can't. So the price for the regular stateroom is $975 per person. There has to be two people in a room. People have contacted me and said I don't want to share a room. Cruises don't work that way. They don't work that way generally speaking. Like if you weren't even in our group, they don't like to sell single rooms. So it's like 200% plus the cost. So it would be 975 times 3 if you were going to try to do it yourself. It's just ridiculous. So, but if you don't have a roommate, there are people that have already signed up that don't have roommates.
Okay.
So we can try to match you up and we'll work really hard to make sure that everybody finds a roommate if they want somebody. So that's for a regular room. If you want a balcony room, which I don't even know if I have any left, to be honest with you, I might have one or two. That cost is $15.25 per person. The balcony rooms went fast, but there might be one more left, or there might be some people that don't have a roommate if you're interested in the balcony room. We are open to you bringing a spouse or partner or friend. That's totally great. And
Yeah.
because of the way the cruise pricing is, they pay the same that you pay.
Okay. I was going to ask that.
Yep. I wish I could do it differently, but I can't, because basically I'm covering the cost of the professional development out of my budget. And what you're basically paying is what the cruise line's charging me. Like it's not like there's no upsell on this. But the good news about that means that they can come to sessions if they want. They can participate in any of the Nannypalooza activities they want or not. And if not, that's okay because it's a pretty good deal on a cruise. So either way, they're winners. So if they want to pop in for a workshop and then leave, if they want to come to the networking events, they can eat with us if they want. They don't have to, obviously. Whatever they want to do. But I'm welcome to have them, and it's going to be a good group. The people that have signed up already, it looks like it's going to be super fun, and a good mix of sort of all the different kinds of nannies and all different ages, and so it's going to be a good time. I'm excited.
It sounds like fun. And
Yeah.
hello to everyone who just came in who has said hello to me and I didn't say hello to you
I
yet. Hello, everyone.
know. Poor
Oh
you. When
my
you have me on, I never
listen.
let you get a word in edgewise.
But I love it. I love it because the cruise, I've never been on a cruise. I went on a dinner cruise for like 3 or 4 hours, and I'm still kind of, I don't know, because I think I get seasick. Um, it was kind of a that floating, and I'm like, okay, is it just me or is it my head? What's going on? So I don't know. I want to go.
It's
And I talked
okay.
to my husband about it. He said, well, I'm going to take you on a cruise. And I said, well, this would be a perfect one to go. He said, yeah. And now I'm not getting close. I'm like, oh, no.
Well, let me tell you, I get seasick also. I really do. But I took a cruise. We went to Alaska, which is not, that's a pretty easy cruise as far as the seasickness because you're not in open sea the whole time. And I got really sick the first day. But I learned something. The doctor can give you a prescription for a patch. See, Diane Metcalf just said it too. You put this patch on behind your ear, and
Okay.
and it gives you this medicine in a low dose for a couple of days at a time. And the trick is you put the patch on a couple of days before you get on the boat, and it evens it out. And then the rest of the time I was totally fine. So I was sick as a dog because I didn't put the patch on early enough. And then once I put it on and it got into my system, I was totally fine. And I
Okay.
had such a good time. It's not for everybody. I know it's not for everybody, and totally understand if it's not something, that people want to do, but I think it's going to be fun, and we really just wanted a way to sort of celebrate,
I
15
love it.
years.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Um, I was looking, where was it? I saw it in the pharmacy, and they have these little seasickness bracelets things that you put
Yes.
on too. And I was like, I'm gonna try that. And I'm like, well, where are you gonna be where you can try this? So Dallas has no water.
You have to tell
If
your
I was
husband
in
to,
Florida, that would be a different thing.
you have to
Dallas
go
has no water.
visit some nannies and go out on a boat. Say, I need to go on a boat.
Yes, yes. I did go on a pontoon in Florida, but that was just like right across the bay.
Yeah.
And we went like from Panama City to Shell Island, which is maybe like 10 minutes. So I was cool with that. I was like, okay, no problem. But a big ship and out to sea and days at a time, I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and this is a good cruise too because we're going to be at sea for like a day and a
okay,
little, and then we're docked for 24 hours, and
oh
then
good,
you'll
good.
be out at sea again. Like you're really only in the open sea for, I don't know, like a day and a half or so each
Oh, that's
way.
different. That's
It's not
different.
so
Okay,
bad. And
okay,
and
okay.
I think it's whatever, it's if you want to, and we'd love to have you, and
I'm I'm
it'll
I'm
be
gonna,
so
I'm
fun.
going to do my best to be on that cruise. The
Yeah.
only thing is my husband's job because he
Yeah.
travels a lot, and that's a year from now.
Right.
I don't know what he's going to be doing by then. I'm like, okay,
I know.
I don't want to not pay for it, and then we
Yeah.
go, and then our wait, yeah.
I
So
know. It's tricky. Well, and so that's why I'm glad we're having the land version. So this way, if you want to celebrate with me next year, you have the boat, you have the land version. We'll see what else pops up in my I have a lot of things planned for next year for the 15th anniversary. So you just never know. You just never know what's going to happen with me. So, yeah.
hey, I like all the things. So tell us about 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. So our
Wait a minute.
theme, it's less than 2 weeks
I was
now.
gonna say, wait a minute. It's less than two. It's like 10 days.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm not ready. Um, our theme is capture the magic, and so I have a few surprises for that magic. My good friend Lori Moran is back again this year, and she has some sort of art installation ready to do, which she did at this hotel a couple years ago, where we made flowers, and then we all took our pictures in front of flowers, which was so fun. And
I love the flowers.
yeah, and the
I
big
love that.
Nannypalooza
Mhm.
letters, and so we're bringing those
Yes.
back. I have some amazing speakers. I'm really intrigued about a couple of workshops I booked, including Susan Howard is coming to talk about baby-led weaning, and she did the NNTD event in the DC area and was like a superstar, very, very amazing, and she's super excited to talk about that. Courtney Gibson is back with some talk about sleep, and
Yay!
everybody loves that and has so many
Everybody loves that.
questions.
Yay, Courtney.
Danny Joe is back,
Yes.
which
That's who we're waiting on.
he's so amazing. He was so excited to be asked back. So if you don't know, you should Google this right when we get done. Danny Joe's Treehouse. He's like a modern Mr.
Mr.
Rogers
Rogers.
with
Yes.
puppets and these amazing these things. One of the things that we started talking about a little bit last year, and it's been really dear to my heart in the mission of Nannypalooza, is sort of becoming more of an inclusive community as much as we can be, and not only just being that, but also talking about it and being sort of open about the stumbling blocks, my own journey with my own racism that I grew up with, and my own viewpoints, and trying to be like, this is my journey, and I'm going to sort of share that with you so that you guys can sort of see where that's coming from. And Danny Joe and I had a lovely conversation about that. And he also has been having sort of some thoughts on some inclusion issues. And so he's going to be talking about that in this really great way, and how to talk about some of those issues with kids about gender and race and difficult things that we should be talking about with our kids, because those are things that the more that we talk about them, the more progress we make about getting rid of those lines. So I'm very excited about him on Sunday morning. On Saturday morning, I found a speaker who has this presentation on using questioning to encourage higher level thinking. And if anybody's ever been in a workshop with me, asking kids questions is so important. And
Yes.
so this workshop, she just had developed it. I booked it right when I heard it, and she's been working with it now for about 8 months. So I'm excited to see how she can help us to ask questions instead of telling the answer, and how to help kids use questions as a way to investigate and be more curious. I found a speaker who talks about literature and choosing appropriate children's literature to be, again, more inclusive about all different kinds of people, all different kinds of families. There's more and more literature out there that's available that help us with our kids, and especially as nannies, because a lot of times, like it or not, we're dealing with high income, a lot of times, not always, sort of more exclusive communities sometimes. And I feel then it's a really great thing when a nanny can come into that environment where a child might be at a private school that's not necessarily as diverse as other schools, and bring in things like puppets and literature and things to have those conversations, and talk about the different kinds of people, the different kinds of relationships, the different kinds of families. So that's kind of a theme through a lot of the presentations. Tiffany Martinson is back, who the East
I
Coast people
love
have not
her.
met her yet, but you guys are going to love her.
Yes. I met
She,
her at the INA
right.
conference
So
years ago.
she and I have a mutual friend, Jenny, in Seattle, who Jenny started talking to me about her a couple years ago and said, "You have got to have her come. She's going to be amazing. She's going to get Nannypalooza." And we met at INA, and she came to California last year because it's so much closer, and she volunteered to come all the way out to the East Coast this year. And she's going to talk about communication and difficult conversations with families, which you can never have that workshop enough for us
Right.
nannies. So I'm really excited. It's going to be a great conference, and I we're going to have fun too, and all the rest of it. So
For those of you who have never been to Nannypalooza, I will share this with you. My first Nannypalooza was like 2 months, not even 2 months, like a month after I started Ask the Nanny. So I was as nervous could be. I'm not that outgoing person where I will go and introduce myself to you. And I was kind of like sitting back on the wall, and then I was capturing people that I was like, okay, so let me see. They look friendly. Let me see if they'll be on Ask the Nanny. And that's when I met Heather. And me and Heather have just become friends since then. And we saw each other last year. Was it last year at Nannypalooza? Yes. And we were just it's just amazing. You only see these people once a year or maybe twice if you're lucky, at one of the conferences. And it's just like, okay. And you just everybody's talking at the same time, and you're trying to catch up on everything. Those of you who are new, when you get there, it can be overwhelming because you feel like you don't know anybody. But it is the homiest place. And when I say homiest, I mean it's like, welcome home, come on in. It's like we'll leave the light on for you. That is the feeling that you get at Nannypalooza. It's a sisterhood. It's a don't sit over there by yourself. Come on over here. And I was like, oh, okay. I was thinking, well, why are you sitting over there by yourself? Trust me, people will come and get you, and they will welcome you into their little circle on the table, because we had the rounded tables, and so there were little chairs. Well, come on, pull up a chair. We can make room. Everybody's scooting apart. Now the table is full as can be, but we're gonna scoot around and we're gonna make room for you. That's the kind of environment that is at Nannypalooza. Nobody walks alone, and
Right.
everybody comes and gets you, and they welcome you, and it's like a sisterhood. And so, what are you doing tonight? We're going out. Some of us are going here, some of us going there. And if you don't have anywhere to go, just ask somebody, and they will say, well, so and so's doing this, we're doing that, and we're whatever the case may be. You will find somewhere to be, and you will find your little friends and please people that you will connect with, and you will remember them. And when you come back on Facebook, it's like, oh my God, do you know about this? And now remember I told you this, and remember I told you that. And it's just the conversations that you will have. It's the memories that you will create. It's everything. Trust me,
Right.
it's everything. When you get to meet people in person, and not just go back and forth and swapping opinions on Facebook, it is totally, totally different. But Nanny
Right.
Palooza is nothing like the nanny group. Should I say, some days on the nanny groups, because it can be a mess sometimes.
Right.
But it is a very welcoming and inviting community, and trust me, Sue is not gonna put up with it. So I'm telling you, don't bring it. Do
We've had,
not bring it, because
listen,
it ain't gonna happen at Nanny
I
Palooza.
wish I could say that we've never had any of it. We've had a little bit here and there, but the thing is that a community is as strong as we all decide that it's going to be. And one thing that we have worked very hard, and not just me, but everyone involved, all the people that volunteer, plus all the people that have been coming, and from the very beginning, the important thing was that we wanted to build a community, and a community can lift people up. It can be welcoming and come and join us at the table. The nice part of community also is I have lots of people that come to Nannypalooza who don't want to, who that's too overwhelming for them, and they can find space at Nannypalooza too. So there's something for everyone, and you definitely, no matter how old or how young, how inexperienced or how experienced, it doesn't matter. Fat, skinny, black, white, it honestly doesn't matter.
That's
It
right.
is an accepting environment, and not just because of me, but because everyone has decided that's what it's going to be, and we all work very hard to keep it that way. And it is drama free, at least is 99.9% of the time.
Yes.
And I feel like the other thing that it is while it is a place where you can talk about dirty dishes in the sink or working at home all day while dad bosses whatever he's doing up there, and you can sort of vent some of those things because it's in person, the in-person events let you get rid of all that stress without it becoming toxic. When you vent online, which sometimes you have to do, and I have
Yes.
done, everybody does it, but it creates this breeding ground for toxicity. Whereas if you come to events, whether it's Nannypalooza, whether it's INA, whether it's local events, whether it's the Ask a Nanny events or Stephanie Nanny T's events or the US Nanny Association events that are coming, any of those in-person events, I would strongly advocate that you try, even if you have some social anxiety, even, find someone who help you, because when you vent in an in-person community like that, instead of it being a breeding ground for toxicity, it becomes more of a garden where you sort of put the manure and good things can grow. Um,
Right.
and I feel like uh, not it becomes more about solutions to that. It becomes more about, I understand, I can empathize with you and feel what you're feeling, which that's a wonderful thing, because we all, we say it all the time, nobody understands being a nanny like another nanny. And so that's very powerful to be in those rooms. Nannypalooza is a great example of that. We've done a really amazing job at making that environment so strong and so supportive, and which is great. INNTD events are all over the world as well. April 18th this year, just as an extra plug. Um, but just finding those local support groups, finding those local events, getting taking some time to connect professionally is really important in person. At least once a year, it's good to do that, I think, because it grounds you in a different way.
Yes.
So,
It's totally different. I remember talking to my husband when I got back from my first Nannypalooza, because I was so nervous going in. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be all right. I promise you. You're gonna be all right. And I'm like, but what if they don't like me? What if they don't? And it was all this what if, what if, what if. And it was like what if went out the door when I got there. Because Chevelle was my roommate,
oh,
and Chevelle kept me. I remember I met Jamie and Patsy. Oh my gosh, Patsy! She
I
was
can't wait to
hilarious.
see her this year. I miss her. Oh,
She was hilarious. She kept me laughing, and there was this whole group of ladies there from New York, New Jersey area, and they all knew each other because they have a strong New York nanny,
right.
bond. And I was like, I want to be a part too. So I got adopted into the. So it was so much fun. And then all the nannies came together. I still have the picture. As a matter of fact, I use it in the advertising of Daddy Joe and the nannies taking a picture in front of the Nannypalooza sign that you were talking
Yep.
about. So it was hilarious,
Yeah.
and it was so much fun, and I got to talk to my nanny sisters and talk things out, because it's like, well, I never knew all of these nannies existed. So for me to come and see all this in person, I met a nanny here and there at the park, and that was my existence of nannies. I knew they existed, but you know, when you are in an isolated area and you don't know about the nanny groups,
Right.
then you have no clue. Well, I had known about the nanny groups about 4.5, 5 months. So by the time I got there, and people said, "I'm this person on Facebook. We're friends," and I'm like, I don't," because some people have like dogs and cats and things as
Yeah.
their profile pictures. So I don't know what all I see is the dog and the cat. But but it is so refreshing to meet people that you have talked to online, or you have read their messages online, or you are curious to know who they are because you have seen them online so much and in different groups, and that makes sense. Oh, I like her. I got to meet those people, and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to meet her. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. And when I came home, my husband was like, okay, are you done yet? So, it was
No.
just so exciting to me.
It consumes you, and but it's good. It's a good
It
thing to
is.
go
It's
away a
really
weekend
good.
and be consumed by all of these amazing people. And I truly have relationships that have come from this conference of people that are so dear to me that they have transcended a professional friendship to lifelong friends. And my employers laugh at me because whenever they travel, I'm like, oh, I know somebody from that city. I could get you a sitter. Like, I know nannies all over the world now that are friends, that are people that I could call up and say, would you watch my kids? Which I don't ask just anybody to do that because I'm pretty picky. But I know them because because they've been to the conference, and it's a fun thing. I don't know, I feel like I'm tooting my own horn a little, but it really is a special environment, and I'm really excited about it. And mark your calendars for next year. So I wish I could say that we had more space this year, but we don't.
Well,
We were so sold out so early this year. It's crazy.
and that's incredible because you added more to
Yeah,
what we had, and that's incredible. I'm glad that we're going back to the DoubleTree because when we were there, the staff there, they were on point.
yeah,
Anything we needed, they got it for us. I remember, and this is a small thing, so if if you're sensitive, cover your ears. We were in the bathroom. It's a long line in the bathroom over by the where we were, and we
right.
were like, okay, everybody's like, is there any tissue in that stall? Any tissue in that stall? So I'm listening and I hear them. I'm like, okay, there's like 10 ladies in front of me. So one of the attendants was walking by. I said, can we get some tissue? Within 5 minutes, she had like 10 rolls of tissue
Yeah,
in the bathroom. And I was like, yes. I said, because this long line and we were in break, we were on break. And break is like 15 minutes.
right.
We got a lot of people. So
Yeah,
it was wonderful. The
I
food was great. Everything.
I like the double trees because they're just nice enough that they're nice, like it's nice, but the price point is right where we need to be because it's not
Yes.
just the room cost, it's also the food cost that affects the pricing of the conference. And I had to raise prices a little this year, which happens every few years. But I really tried to keep it to a very reasonable amount. That doesn't mean everybody can afford it. I mean, it's hard, and a lot of nannies don't make a lot of extra, or you choose to spend it a different way, which is totally acceptable and fine. But I do like to keep it, and so you'll find me often at Double Trees. That's a good price point for us because it's just nice enough that it's nice. It's like a nice Hilton, and free chocolate chip cookies when you check in.
Yes. I love the
Which is
chocolate chip
nice.
cookies.
Exactly. So,
And they're always warm.
yeah, they keep them in little heating drawers. Did you know that?
I
They
didn't
have
know
little
that.
heating drawers in the front desk that they put the cookies in. They
I
keep them
just see
warm.
them reach under there and just, here you go.
Yep.
I'm like, how did you warm it up that quick? But I wanted to ask you a question.
Sure.
Will there ever be a time when maybe one or two of the workshops at Nannypalooza will be online?
See, this is a tricky thing. So
Okay.
let me tell you why. First of all, I would love to do that. And I'm hoping to do some online things this year, not necessarily the classes we have here. The problem for that is it requires a fairly extensive, to do it well, it requires a fairly extensive investment in the right equipment to record it. And you
Okay.
have to have somebody who knows how to do that. It's not quite as simple as just recording it with an iPhone. I think that might be possible, but for a number of people to be able to access it, it's not that simple. And INA is trying to do it now, which is great. They have a few more resources than me. The hardest part for Nannypalooza with me is when I sign that contract with the hotel, it's me. Like it's just me. I signed a contract for the cruise that's $90,000, and another one for the hotel, and it's 40,000. Like these are big things that I sort of make a leap of faith on, and so a big infrastructure into the technology of making that happen is tough. The other problem for me is I negotiate with the speakers to keep our speaking costs low. That's why at Nannypalooza, you'll often see that the speakers are local to whatever in place that we are. I don't usually fly speakers from different locations because then I have to pay their travel costs and that's expensive. So I negotiate with speakers to get them to a rate. I have to pay speakers now, like we've grown to that point. But I get them to a good, I would have to pay them more if I was going to
Right.
cast that out into, into the internet.
Ah, okay.
So you have to, those are some considerations. So while I'm hoping to do some things this year for the 15th anniversary that will perhaps fill some of that void in a different way, I'm not sure that we'll ever be able to put those things online in the way that would really work for everybody. It's unfortunate, and I wish that we could. The good news is there's so many places that you can get online training now that if you aren't able to come to Nannypalooza and you want to learn about something, email me because I have a long growing list of places where you can get free or next to free training on any number of topics. If you're the kind of learner that learns well via the phone or via the internet, then that's good. That's never, I don't learn that well that way. I have to
I'm
be
a
in the room.
hands-on. I need
Yeah.
to be there. I can watch a movie online. I can do this online because it's like a one-on-one, a face-to-face, and I can interact. But if I'm watching a class online, it's like my eye starts closing up and
Yeah.
cringing, and then I get sleepy, and because I'm at home there's so many different distractions around me, and I'm like, okay, what's going on over there, or what's over there. Stop bothering me, I'm trying to do this, it's
Or
just
you open up Facebook while you're listening to the teacher, or you start
yes.
answering emails. That's what happens to me. If I'm sitting in front of the and I'll be listening and I'm like, oh, I'm just listening. Okay, let me check this. Let me check that. And the next thing you know, I'm answering emails and I've not paid attention.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say never, but I don't think that's the direction that the conference itself is going.
Okay.
Um, I do think that more and more I'm trying to find ways to invest in NNTD. Last year, we did an online workshop for anybody that attended any NNTD event across the
Hmm.
globe, got a code, and they could listen to a workshop from Dr. G, who's been at Nannypalooza before and INA and on the Today Show, and she's like a big deal speaker. And so I paid her so that we could broadcast that to everyone. Not many people took advantage of it, but I'm hoping to find other ways to invest in the NNTD to bring that to get those local events some added perks, and there's an online version of the NNTD now as well. So hopefully that makes those events are way more affordable than Nannypalooza because you don't have to travel as far, if at all, and you don't have to spend the night. So there's no hotel costs necessarily.
Right.
So again, and there's so many things online now for very inexpensive, especially if you can translate things. So what I mean by that is a lot of good training is available to us, but is not nanny specific. So one thing that you'll notice at Nannypalooza is I pull a lot of early childhood education professionals, like for instance, Danny Joe, or the woman who's talking about questioning, or a lot of these people, they speak to parents or to preschool teachers or early childhood professionals, and they don't necessarily speak nanny. So you have to be able to translate some of that information into
Right.
the nanny world. But if you can learn how to do that, there's so much training that's free or next to free. There's like conferences, like there was a challenging behavior conference. It was 42 hours or something like that of content for almost free. I think I paid 40 something dollars for the whole thing. So but it's geared towards preschool teachers. So some of it is not going to be relevant to you, certain things, but you can always pull things out of that. So
Right.
be open to the idea that, that training's out there. It's just probably not for me, sadly.
Okay.
I wish
Okay.
I could be the one stop.
No, no. I mean, I understand. I was just asking. So somebody asked me the other day, "Is it online?" And I was like, "Well, no, but
No.
I'll ask."
Yeah.
So I'm asking. So, but it's totally different being there and watching it online. It's a totally different experience. It's a
Right.
totally the physical, emotional, just the camaraderie, the sisterhood, the
Yeah.
just the togetherness is just totally different when you're there and
Right.
you get the feel of the whole thing and it's exciting and it's I don't know. It just gives you the ooey gooeys. Maybe it's just me, and because I love, you know, talking to people in my field. I
Yeah.
love talking to nannies and getting to know what's going on up north, what's going on out west, what's going on, out, in the east area because we all are in different regions. We all have different problems and
Right.
different things that we, need to relate to one another. But some of the problems, the areas may be different, but the problem is still the same.
Right.
And I may know something that you don't know, or you may try something that I don't, because it's just the difference between people calling it soda and people calling it pop.
Right. No,
Same
listen,
thing.
so a couple of years ago, we went to Australia and then we went to London and then we were in the West Coast and then we were on the East Coast. And the one thing that I can tell you is that every nanny is concerned about how to deal with taxes and their paycheck and saving for retirement. Every nanny's had a job where they had to have a hard conversation with their employer. Every nanny's had a job where they've had kids that have challenged them in some way, stepped on their very last nerve 100 times a day. Every nanny has Monday morning dirty dishes in the sink that drive her crazy at some point in her life or his life. Um, Not to leave my brothers out, but there's so many universal things, and the terminology might be different, and the answers might be different, but the concerns are the same. And that's what, again, it's community. That's what a community is a group of people that have some things similar, and those are the things that are similar about us. And then we're richer because we have so many differences that we bring to the table. So that's always my favorite part. I learn so much from just talking to the other nannies at the conference every year.
To
Um, and that's another thing that I try to do. And I'm excited this year. We have you speaking. My friend Amanda Panicoli from Cincinnati is speaking. So I mix into these early childhood educators and these speakers who do this for a living and all these amazing things, nannies who I feel like have the potential to be amazing teachers. Not everybody is, and sometimes you don't know until you try. And we've had some speakers that have been great and some that have knocked it out of the park and some that have been okay and some, it happens. But sometimes you don't know until you try. And a lot of nannies have really amazing information that they can share. And I'll always have a place to have a few of those in the schedule as well, because we are in such uh, a unique situation that it's hard to bring in a speaker who could talk about how to address dirty dishes on Monday morning. Like, or
yes.
how, a classroom management trick isn't going to work the same as a discipline technique that you would use. And like you're speaking about mini portfolios, teachers don't have the same kind of portfolios that a nanny would, or it's different. So I think that there's a place, and if you have a resume that backs it up and you have an idea, you should always feel free to pitch me an idea. I'm always looking for people who I think will be dynamic and engaging, and also who have the knowledge base to back it up. So
Right. Okay, we have a question.
sure.
Meechus wants to know, is it theme color for this Nannypalooza?
No, we don't have a theme color. I am using red and black, kind of like magic magician's top hat, that kind of thing,
Can
but
we
it's,
bring a top hat?
you can bring a top hat. Yes, I encourage that sort of thing. I feel like we're nannies, so one thing that's been important with Nannypalooza from the beginning is that we don't. I don't want you to dress business casual. I want you to dress comfortable. I want you to be able to learn, and to learn, you have to be comfortable. If if you're the kind of person like me, I wear shorts and t-shirts and leggings and jeans and very casual almost 90% of my life. When I have to put on those business casual clothes, even if it's just a simple sundress, I'm thinking about it then. Like, I'm thinking about how it feels on my body and what I'm wearing, and is my dress on right, and oh my gosh, my legs, or I don't know. And then I'm not learning. So I want you to be comfortable. But I also like a little creativity. So if you want to wear your nanny t-shirts, if you want to wear a costume, dress as a magician. One year we did superheroes, and people wore their superhero costumes to the opening reception, which was fun. And, you know, we're nannies, we play. We know that play is how people learn. So I try to create that environment of a playful, keep the girls covered up, and don't wear a swimsuit. That's about all I got for you, and listen, it's not that you can't wear a dress or whatever. My good friend Kate Mativijevich, Kate, Kate is
I do the same
happy.
thing.
I know. Kate is happy in a like very designer outfit and
I
with
love
heels on, like this high
like this tall.
heels, and that's how she learns best, because that's how she's comfortable. So if you're comfortable in a suit, wear it. As long as it's not your birthday suit, we're okay. And and if you want to, it's still warm here right now. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt today, so it's going to be
Wow.
90 degrees on Wednesday here in Philly. So
I'm gonna
uh,
check the weather to make sure that so I
yeah.
can bring my t-shirts and my you know. But I would really, really, really love to do the cape and a top hat, and the little
Do
magic
it.
wand
Do it,
on
do it, do
Friday
it.
night.
Yeah.
I got my
That'd be
cape.
great. We'll
But I
get
mean, it's
somebody.
Halloween. I should be able to find all of this at the party store.
I know. We'll get somebody to wear bunny ears, and you could, walk around with your
With
bunny
my
and
bunny
oh,
and my little scarves tied together.
exactly. Pull them out of your sleeve.
I have some
Oh,
tricks on my sleeve. I don't know how to do any card tricks. I can't even flip the cards, like they do in the fancy, Las Vegas shows. So don't expect that.
yeah. And I have to tell you that I'm not. I never worry so much about like the decorations and all that stuff. Luckily, there are lots of people who love to do that, who always volunteer. So like this year, Tears Winterton is doing uh, centerpieces for the tables with magic hats, and I don't even know what's involved. But
Ooh.
somebody always comes to me and cares about those details, and I'm like, great, you do that. I'm going to book speakers and make sure everyone has a name tag. Somebody else do the pretty stuff, because I'm like
I
the least
love
pretty
it.
person.
I love
So,
it.
and like I said, Lori Moran, God bless her. She is such an artist soul, and I love her so much. She is actually one of my favorite stories, because she was very intimidated and overwhelmed when she walked into that welcome reception on Friday night. And we immediately saw it. And I have some tricks up my sleeve of how to help people feel more at ease without being overwhelming. And now, here she comes and leads these big art projects, and does amazing things with us. So
Everybody has a place.
that's right. We'll find a place for you, especially if you like to volunteer for things.
Yes, yes, everybody has a place. Yes, yes, yes. Well, thank you so much, Sue,
No,
for
thank you.
informing us about the cruise and what's going on.
Oh wait,
Okay,
I see Tracy Chips is watching right now, and
yeah.
Tracy Chips is the person who came up with the Nanny Cruisapalooza title. That came from Tracy Chips. It was the third year of Nannypalooza, and it had been a success. But that year is the year it really sort of gelled into this really great thing. And and Tracy Chips and I were talking about what we should do next. And we were talking about a cruise, and she said, Nanny, Cruisapalooza. And it stuck with me. And so now it's coming true, and it's all Tracy
Yay,
Chips. I
Tracy,
love
you
her.
spoke it into existence. Yes,
There you go.
words have
Well,
power.
thank you. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to see you in just 10
I
days or
think
something crazy like
yes.
that.
10 days. What's today? Today's the
12 days.
30th.
It's the 30th. So
11th.
the 10th. Yeah.
It's the 10th. Yes. So we have 11 days. Well, today doesn't count because it's almost over.
Okay. So
So
let's
10
say 9.
days.
All right. I'm going back to printing things now.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you all for joining us tonight and for finding out if you have any questions about Nannypalooza this year, the Nanny Cruise, you can go to nannypalooza.com and click on the cruise button, and you can find out about the cruise next year. The uh, there's going to be a cruise that's going to be on the 24th, October 24th through the 29th, and there's going to be a land Nannypalooza that's going to be in Connecticut on October 9th, 10th, and 11th next year. So you have a choice. You can go to both. You can go to one or the other. I'm going to try to get on that cruise uh, and see if I can make that cruise. I'm going to get over my fear, and I'm going to put my deposit down and see about going on this cruise because I am excited. I've never been on a cruise before, and hopefully my husband's schedule will work out where we can both go. But I want to begin. It's my plan to be on that cruise. So I will see you all in 11 days. Well, 10 days because today is almost over. So all of you all who are coming to Nannypalooza, come find me, say hello. If I've never met you before, but we've been talking online, come find me. I'll come find you. You might see me sneaking up behind you and saying hello. Who are you? If we're not friends on Facebook, we can become friends on Facebook. We can become real life friends. So we won't, and Facebook will just be an extension of that. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you right back here next week on what day is that? October the 7th, the 6th, 7th, yeah, October the 7th. We'll see you next week on October the 7th, and we will talk to you all later. You all have a great week, and we'll see you next week.